Right. Good evening from London. It's a fairly bright summer evening here. Hello from me, Dr. Dermot Hudson, Chairman of KFA UK and Chairman of the British Group for the Study of the Future. And
Good afternoon for everyone from London. It's very hot day. Very welcome everyone who want to join us and have a questions raised to answer. We're gonna share our experience from the last activities of Korean Friendship Association UK.
right, thank you, Alan. And for those of you who do not know him, if you're joining this live stream for the first time, this is Comrade Alan Bollen. He is KFA UK Organisation Secretary, has been for 4 years, and he is also head of KFA UK West of England, which he's held that position for 5 years. He's also the very hard-working editor of People's Career Today, our monthly magazine, which we will be getting another issue out next month. It's a very interesting magazine full of exciting articles showing the reality of the DPRK, of People's Career, and we strongly urge people to read it and share it as widely as possible. And we're doing this live stream tonight because Alan happens to be in London, so we thought it'd be a good opportunity to do a live stream involving several members of the KFA UK leadership. We're not going to be here too long. It's been a long 2 days. We've had many activities, and tonight we're going to move on to another activity. We've got some social activity. We've got a lovely barbecue planned for London KFA members and KFA supporters. So we will conclude the live stream by about 6:15, 1800, 15 minutes past 1800 hours BST. So we just talk a bit about what we've been doing today and some future plans, and then we take a few questions, as I'm sure you've got questions, and I hope everyone can actually hear us. If there's problems with the sound, please put a comment in the chat if you can't hear. KFA UK does carry out real life activities. We're not just on Telegram. We're not just on Twitter or Facebook, though we are obviously very active on Facebook, Telegram, and Twitter, but that's not the be all and end all of our work. And also, we don't play around on Discord. In fact, the KFA Discord server was closed, and I personally, I'll speak for me as an individual, do not see that as a negative development, a positive development, because although online work is very important, it's very crucial, it's these days a central part of the battle of ideas, the battle to defend people's career with no ifs or buts. We also need to be active in real life. We need feet on the ground, as it were. And that's what we've been doing this weekend. Yeah, last night we picketed the Yankee imperialist embassy in London, in not southeast London, southwest London, sorry, in Vauxhall. It is the relatively new American embassy. Used to be up in Grosvenor Square, which was a far better place to picket, far easier to picket, more central as well. People could make a day out of it. but this US embassy that I think opened at the beginning of 2018 in Vauxhall is like in the middle of nowhere. And that was done deliberately by the US to discourage protests, to stop people picketing the embassy. And in fact, the old US embassy at Grosvenor Square was the scene of violent clashes between police and protesters in 1968 when there were the Vietnam War protests. And KFA, we picketed that old US embassy many times. So to come back to the main subjects, last night we picketed the embassy at, I think, relatively short notice. I think we only had, arranged this about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. So I was a little bit uneasy about whether we would get many people, and we'd also switched the time to a weekday evening. But we were quite pleased with the amount of people that came, and we had the KFA banner. In fact, KFA banners, we had 2 of them. We had DPOK flags, and we shouted slogans like "Down with US imperialism," "Yankee go home," "US out of Korea," "Defend people's Korea," "Long live people's Korea." So I think it was very successful, and it's an example of the kind of proactive activity that we should be carrying out all the time to defend people's Korea with no ifs or buts. I mean, Alan, do you want to say much about your experiences of the picket? What were your impressions of it?
My impression from yesterday about the Yankee embassy is the position, the place where is that embassy. What I'm gonna say, it looks to be they build up the embassy in difficult terrain, the difficult place, especially for that to be as a barrier of any kind of protest. To get to this embassy is very difficult. Around is the fence, and also there is a gap between the main building to the road when is the public place. There is artificial river where is waterfall.
Yeah, a
Yeah,
moat. It's a moat, like an old castle.
is lots of plants which you cannot see exactly deeper with the building. This is on the one side, and the other side when we were there also is huge gap, and there is garden. The garden looks so messy. I was joking, giving the look they don't have a very good garden. But generally, my impression was the embassy being made, especially in this point on this place, in this way to be difficult to do anything. And it is exactly because it's difficult to do protests there. It's no many space, and around they have some the builders to do something that is noisy. There is no much space to do anything to put the banners or anything. So it everything looks to me, that's my impression, like they've been made especially for that to have a difficult to do anything or any protest or picking. That's my impression from yesterday. Yes, that picket yesterday was very successful because we were very heard and very loudly heard, and we were very visible. So the embassy has many. The building is quite high. They seen us. I'm sure they seen us. They recorded maybe us. That's very good. And what is more to say, what I want to say more, the embassy been attacking from 2 sides. From one side on the back side, we call it backside from us, and the other side on the opposite side, just straight to is big wall with banners from Palestinians people who put the banners "Stop to Genocide" and things like that, stuff like that. Lots of slogans, "Free Palestine," portraits of the kids killed on the Palestine things, the stuff. So they are attacking from both sides. Whenever he's working in the embassy from Yankee, when you see by window on that side, you can see us protesting. And I go other side, they remind them about the genocide in Palestine. And it is very good. My impression is that it's very good. They remind them all the time that they are not welcome here in the UK. By this, what they're doing.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, I mean, the picket was part of the month of solidarity with the Korean people. We always organise a picket of the US Embassy around the 25th of June, which is, of course, the date on which the Yankees provoked the Korean War, or Fatherland Liberation War, as it is known in the DPRK. And this was a terrible and barbaric war in which the US carried out saturation bombings, they used germ and chemical weapons, and carry out many massacres, such as at Sinchon, where 35,383 people were killed by the US imperialists and their local collaborators, like former landlords, former money lenders, former capitalists, these kind of people. They carried out the massacre at Sinchon. And I think I'd like to use this opportunity to bring home the point that the US action in the Korean War was not for freedom or democracy, as they like to pretend, but it was a war to exterminate the Korean nation. It was an attempt at genocide of the Korean nation. We're hearing about the genocide of Palestinians, but 75 years ago, there was the attempted genocide of the Korean people by the US. And I'm just going to mention very quickly two tiny but very important facts, which are not in Western history books, and a lot of people forget about it. The US Air Force general in Korea during the Korean War was called Curtis Lee May. And I believe he ordered the mass bombing of the DPRK, but also once said, I'd have to double check the reference, once said that the US Air Force had run out of targets to bomb in Korea. It was that bad. Now, Curtis Lee May went on to have a career in US politics, and he ended up standing for the far right racist American Independent Party in the 1960s. He was a supporter of racial segregation. In other words, he was a blatant racist. And the actual founder of the American Nazi Party, George Lincoln Rockwell, was Lieutenant Commander Rockwell in the US Armed Forces in the Korean War. And this is a fact. So it was very much a racist war to exterminate the Korean nation. Each year, you have the Month for Solidarity, which was instituted by the Tricontinental People's Solidarity Organization, I believe in 1965. And that runs from the 25th of June, which was the day that the US provoked the war, to July 27th, the dates when the US were defeated in Korea and they had to sign the armistice. So there is a month for solidarity, and activities are organized in many countries, like pickets, meetings, petitions, etc. And I think it's a good opportunity to bring home to the public the US crimes in Korea. So on to today, and we joined the Stop the War march. Would you like to talk about your impressions, Alan?
Well, there was many people, many organizations that we were very good welcome on this because we met very friendly of the Palestinian people in protesting. I would say yes. We given lots of leaflets, and we met. They were interesting. What we are such an organization. I see the smiles or when they look on us, on our banner, on us with the from the people, Palestinian people, with smile. So it means they are happy that we're giving them support. I think that the of many smiles to us and appropriate to of them. As I said, we're giving lots of leaflets. People been interesting. We should be on the some of the press also be our pictures published maybe somewhere because there was many photo reporters. I noticed them standing and we were very visible to rise up the banner of Karate Chiba Association. However, it was very hot. We managed to do much over 1 hour. Yes, there was one moment when there was a clash with some the Zionist people because we seen our three flags of Israel. But what happened down there, we don't know because that was the moment when we almost left there. We seen only from distance there was so many police, so maybe some on the news will be more details. Um, my impression is I can't imagine. I don't know how they have enough courage to come in on the anti-Zionist Palestinian march with flag of Israel. I wouldn't do that. This is completely idiocy for me. But for me, this is very strange, very weird. They come in some people who supporting Israel on pro-Palestinian march. I don't know. Well, we believe we're living in the UK is the freedom of speech democracy for everyone. So, okay, fine. But I would not do that for them because this is not the place for to show Israel flag. Absolutely not. Yes, so we were over 1 hour. Then we left. Was very hot. We met very friendly welcome from people. We gave them so many leaflets. We met interesting of the people. Yes, that was quite successful, I would say.
Yes, again, I think it was a good example of the proactive approach of feet on the ground engagement. KFA UK, we're not affiliated to any political party, and we do not support or endorse any particular political party, but we take part in the wider anti-imperialist and progressive and peace movement. And I think at this time it is very important for us to do so because of the recent unprovoked Israeli attack on Iran and the threat of war against Iran, which I think is very real. And I think there's, you know, I'm sure the US have already drawn up very clear plans to attack Iran. So I think, it's touch and go as to whether there will be a peaceful outcome or whether within a few weeks we will be seeing an actual full-scale war in the Middle East. And of course, I don't need to tell people where that could lead. It could lead to it could lead to world war, and we could be next time on this live stream discussing possibilities of nuclear exchanges. And of course, I think what's happening to Iran, what happened to Syria, and what happened to Libya in the past proves how correct the DPRK was to develop a nuclear deterrent, which is deterring war and is safeguarding the DPRK's independence and socialist system. There's no doubt about this. And also, I think it shows the machinations of Trump and like I reported in my live stream about 1 or 2 weeks ago, it has been alleged, it's not confirmed, but I've got no reason to doubt it's not true. It's been alleged that the DPRK refused to accept a letter from Trump. And I think if that's true, quite right, because Trump is talking about negotiating with Iran, but at the same time, Iran's been attacked and the US is preparing for an attack. So if you talk to the Americans behind your back, they'd be, they've got the knife ready to put into your back. With the one hand, they're holding out one hand to shake, but concealed behind is the dagger. So I mean, they can't be trusted. And I think, if the US does go to war against Iran, I think DPRK talks with the US will be virtually 100% impossible. I think at the moment they are very unlikely, despite some people trying to speculate about it. Anyway, as to the march, as Alan said, it was it was sweltering hot. It was too hot. I think we were marching in temperatures of 30 centigrade, but we marched quite longer on the march, and the reception was very good. People were taking leaflets, people were talking to us, no hostility. We have to admit that I think about a year ago, we got a bit of hostility from certain elements on the march. I suspect who were bourgeois conservative elements amongst the Arab community in London. But this time, the response, I can say without fear of contradiction, was 100% positive. And this is what KFA UK should be doing. We need more people to support us on our activities. We've got a lot of activities coming up. We're going to have an online anti-US meeting on the 25th. I hope to see a lot of you there. Film night on the 30th, and 5th of July, I'm up in Bonnie, Scotland, the land of John McLean and Hugh McDermid, where I'm going to address a meeting. And I'm going to be speaking about defending people's career with no ifs or buts, but also about some of the real and tangible and concrete achievements of people's careers. So if you're in the Glasgow area, please contact us, and we'll give you the details of the meeting. That the key to success in the work of defending people's career is activity, activity, and activity. And with today, me and Alan marched, but it would have looked even more better, even more powerful if more KFA UK members had joined us, and we had more people there to give out leaflets, maybe bring some books. And similarly, yesterday, Picket was good, but just think if we'd had a few extra people there, would be even more powerful. So bite the bullet, friends and supporters and comrades, and support our activities. I don't know if you want to add anything else, Alan.
Maybe can I add the information? We are planning to organize international conference, like we organized before together with Radio Belarus. But this time, the organization of this, all of the organized will be by us. We haven't choose any subject about what will be about, but probably will be about someone policy and how works in the POK, also with the international affairs. That's quite interesting subject. I think this is my proposition to raise that issue about someone policy, someone politic in this time. for international conference when can be joined all over all the branches from all the countries of the organization Korean Friendship Association, which is international organization because we have branches in the all over the world. There are branches in Germany, very strong branch. We have also in Bangladesh supporters and friends. Then Spain, of course, when is the head office of our organization. So there will be organized huge big conference in future, which will be published on our media. That's the close the plan to me for a Korean Pension or association. For me, that's the main one plan to realize in the next couple of weeks.
Yes. And also, I should add, I mean, obviously, we would need to consult the International Organisation Committee about it before going ahead. But these other important events, I think one of the crucial events is going to be the 25th anniversary of the KFA in November. There's going to be a meeting in Spain, and it's hoped that as many people as possible can attend. And there's going to be online events marking the 80th anniversary of Liberation and the 80th anniversary of Party Foundation. Anyway, it's very good to be here with everyone. And I think we got about 15, 20 minutes. So fire away with a few questions. We try to answer these, and some look very academic, intricate. First of all, yes, so I agree. Long live Marshal Kim Jong-un. Totally agree. Username. What is the position of the DPRK regarding the Thai-Cambodia border conflict? The situation there is quite tense, and it could become one more proxy war, this time against China. Well, I mean, the basic position of the DPRK is that all countries have the right to independence, and that all disputes should be peacefully resolved. I have to admit, I haven't read up about the Thai Cambodia border conflict, so I don't. It's a new subject to me, so I'm not. I was not expecting a question on this subject. In general, in the past, the DPRK had very good relations with Cambodia, particularly with Norodom Sihanouk, and the DPRK gave a lot of assistance to the Cambodian liberation struggle. And even in recent years, the DPRK actually built the Angkor Wat Museum for Cambodia. But I say, all I can reiterate is that, I think the DPRK would argue for the dispute to be peacefully resolved. It hasn't issued any statement on it at all.
I think I'm not really understand which sense there could be the proxy war against China. Because to say about proxy war, we need to define who is the high power, yeah, who is the behind the scene, and who is the behind the scene to carry on the conflict, the Thai Cambodia, and how is the impact for China? I can't see the impact to China about this. So for me, it's the new question because I haven't heard honestly, but I don't really understand because proxy war is the war where is who is doing proxy war? The proxy war is doing that country who want to hide, not to be so obvious.
Well,
yes. So in between Thai and Cambodia, if it's any conflict or tension, I'm not really understand who is engaged there to, and how can be impact, negative impact to China. That's what I'm not really understand.
Right. Well, I think, I mean, I'm guessing that, I say, this is a very new subject to me, and I only really know about DPRK Cambodia relations. I mean, Cambodia, I believe, is very friendly with China. However, Thailand,
Hmm.
dare I say this, is a pro-US country. Thailand has actually several times taken part in war exercises against uh, the DPRK. So
Very hard to
it
say.
it is possible that the US may be
Maybe
behind
yes.
Thailand and trying to get
Yes.
uh, uh,
Could be.
Thailand to
Mhm.
attack Cambodia as a means of getting at China. But it's something, I say, something I've not gone into. I mean, with proxy wars, the obvious one is with Ukraine against Russia, and also Israel has acted as a proxy against both Syria in the past and now against Iran. So those are clear examples of proxy wars. And there may be others, but I would just wait to the DPRK issue a statement on it. Uh, Yeah, I mean that's fair enough, and we can also remember the opposite positions of Thailand and Cambodia in the Vietnam War. Yeah, well, again, that was slightly complicated. I assume Mr. Username or Miss Username really means Cambodia when the government under Sihanouk, because Sihanouk was actually overthrown in a by a pro-US coup, and there was a puppet put in power, Lon Nol. And of course, that's quite interesting because
Could be another attempt of imperialist
yeah,
aggression to trying to prepare something. Yeah,
yeah,
could
I
be.
say Cambodia or Sin did support the
Mm.
Vietnamese people's liberation struggle, whereas Thailand actually sent troops to fight on the side of the Americans in Vietnam. In fact,
Yeah.
also they sent troops to fight in the Korean War against the DPRK,
Yeah,
though they later apologized.
in proxy war is very difficult to define who is behind the set. That's why is we calling that like this. That's the something new in the modern in the 21st century. To carry on proxy war is very difficult to define who is the aggressor, and that's why is the made for. For example, proxy war could be not only in a military way. Poland is playing a very big proxy war by spread anti-Russian propaganda, yes, Russophobia and anti-Russia. This is the kind of proxy war too in media. So proxy war is very wide subject, is very wide issue, is very wide and to understand, very wide meaning, very big, very big in the role in the role in the methods. Is the new, but as I said, it's very difficult to define who is behind the scene. That's why it's made for.
Yes, I think you're quite right. Okay, folks, do we have any more questions? I know sometimes the chat can lag. But, please fire away with a few more questions. As we're in about 10 minutes, we conclude. I mean, in terms of proxy war, to go back to where we started, the obvious, perhaps the most obvious example was South Korea during the Fatherland Liberation War. That was a proxy of the United States against the DPRK and also against China and the then Soviet Union. It was a proxy. There's many proxies.
Proxy war exists before, but been very developed and very defined in the terms in 21st century in the many conflicts. So it's not something new that it is appear now, because it exists before, but now was more systematized and more defined as a system of conflict in the 21st century, like Ukraine, for example, like many examples there is of proxy war, which is not, as I said, not only military way. Proxy war could be in many ways, and it's very difficult to define who is behind the scene. That's why it's very effective in any conflict or preparing conflict, like could be in this issue with Cambodia and Thailand. Maybe they planning to do something and preparing the ground. I mean, U.S. imperialists or any forces and enemies to Cambodia again. Could be that. Could be that
Yes,
issue.
yes, very, very, very true. I think increasingly we see the use of information war,
That's the kind of, yes.
which is carried out against the DPRK, it's carried out against other countries, like to some extent Russia. You've got information warfare.
The classic proxy war in military sense, military understanding, is like the soldiers taking uniforms from other army and pretend to be the army who want to hit. Yes, that's the kind of proxy war method. So they pretending to be on this area of this country, to be soldiers of this army who supposed to defend the country, and they sabotaging and also preparing ground for future military operation on the ground which supposed to be defended by the army of this country. That's the method of proxy war, for example.
Yes. Anyway, excellent. We've got a question from Ben. Good evening, Ben. Great to have you on the stream, and I hope KFA Scotland is doing well. In the West, medicine is focused on pharmacological intervention, but there is evidence that the most powerful interventions are lifestyle and diet. Does the DPRK medicine use these interventions? Well, firstly, with DPRK medicine, they use a mixture of medicines. They use Western medicine, which you could say is pharmacological, use of antibiotics, etc. At the same time, they also use Koryo medicine, Korean medicine, and Oriental medicine, which has a totally different base to Western medicine. It is largely based on herbs such as insam, which is known as ginseng in the West, and some other herbs. And the idea is these actually build up resistance to illness rather than
Antibodies, natural antibodies, and make you stronger.
It builds resistance.
Then other way,
And
like to the West of pharma.
and I remember reading in President Kim Il Sung's works how people also built resistance to illness through, you know, towel rubbing and use of cold water to strengthen people. And I think increasingly in the DPRK there is attention paid to lifestyle. You've got more gyms and fitness centres in the DPRK.
Morning exercise.
Yeah, very
Nice.
good. Thanks, Alan. Yeah, morning exercises. That's very important. People, the people at their workplaces do
Very
ma
some on the YouTube. Yeah.
mass
I'm doing some at home. I have to say.
mass exercises, and I've actually seen it myself when I've been in the DBRK. So there is a lot of emphasis on lifestyle. It
Yeah,
is very important.
I remember when I joined the UK, I found one
Join
of the
KFA.
to Korean Friendship Association. When I joined, I found some one very interesting video with music with Korean gymnastic at the morning, and I share with you. And you said, "I'm sorry, this is from South." But was I remember quite funny. Was I remember, yeah. And you send me this time. I remember I have until today many links from Pyongyang, how is the gymnastics from the POK. And another very good example of the good healthy lifestyle of the POK is, for example, ginseng tea.
Yeah,
Ginseng tea, for they're drinking a lot and it's very good tea. They clean you up and giving boost to your immunological system. Yeah, there is so many natural products which can be used not as a pharmacologist, as a medicine, but to use daily, every day, which help you to keep good health all the time.
yes, that's very true. In Sam tea is wonderful, and it will make you feel refreshed and energetic. And also the mineral water in the DPRK, Sindok spring water, Kangso mineral water. My favourite is Kangso mineral water, and if you those are very refreshing and really healthy. The DPRK also has health spas where you can go for recuperation at a health spa. All sorts of things like mud baths and all kinds of things. Very good, which we don't well, I'm not sure, but I don't think we have them in the West or in Britain. Certainly not on the NHS. If they are available in the UK, they're probably private, and you probably pay a load of money.
Generally, there is about in capitalist societies everything made to make a profit. Yes, so if you are sick, you have to go and take the medicine. The medicines are pharmacological made, not naturally. For this to pay, and this is the driving the pharmaceutical industries. Yeah, for the make a profit. That's the reason. Yeah. That's the main point here to make a business of you. Not treat you, not treat the reason what is actually, but the symptoms. They give you paracetamol, they give you painkiller, but actually to keep you that to buying more to spend money. That's what is going on. In the POK and East countries, they are different because they're using more natural medicines than made by different way, yeah, artificial way. So they more focus to treat the reason of the illness than the symptoms, like here. For him, here for the business, pharmaceutical business in on the West is more. They are more interested to keep you ill because you're spending money for the medicines. That's the two different point of view.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, in people's career as socialist country, you don't have big pharma. There's no capitalist countries that capitalist monopoly pharmaceutical companies that benefit from illness from selling medicines. I mean, I don't want to digress too much because I say we'll have to conclude soon, just in case some guests for the barbecue arrive.
Yeah, I think the same answer would be for Stan because he asked me, well, give it share the opinion. I think he'll be willing to be a part of this morning exercise. I have seen videos of them. I like to try they are better than going to the gym. Yes, I fully agree.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Because in the gym they have to pay, they give you card, they give you membership, blah blah blah. But there is so many ways you can do the same exercise at home. You can find it for free also. Or it's better to do gymnastic aerobic, the simple exercise at home than pay, because this is made exactly for that, because they need you as a customers for your profit. In DPOK it's not. The people, they are on the way. They have a morning exercise on the roads, on the cities, on the squares, on the parks for free.
Yes, that's right.
Something different.
I was also just going to point out about big pharma or capitalist monopoly in the West. I remember as a kid going to the doctor, and he gave me like a free thing because the drug company had given it to him. He was getting all kinds of free gifts from the drug companies, from the medical medicine companies. So he would prescribe their medicines
Because
to
has
people.
profit,
He got all
benefit,
these
yeah.
things free. So it just shows you how corrupt the system is. Yeah. Yes, I agree, Stan, about the exercise videos. But there used to be some on a DPRK channel that YouTube took down. I would just quickly mention it here. KFA Germany also again had an age restriction put on their TikTok account, and it was quite ridiculous. It was just a video about Buddhist temple. Now, why would TikTok object to a thing about Buddhist temple? Or
There's many things.
perhaps because it proves the lie that there is, the lie that there's no religion in the DPRK. Maybe it's that. Anyway, Ben, thank you for great efforts at the picket in Stop the War March, comrades. Well, thank you. You're welcome. We try our best, whenever we can. We try to participate in the broader anti-imperialist and peace movement. And fly the flag of KFA UK, defending people's career with no ifs or buts. I think we can just, if anyone has one more quick question, we'd take it. But otherwise, we conclude, because if we're not careful, we'll have people arriving early for the barbecue and saying, "Oh, where's the food, etc.," and complaining.
If it's too hot, then it looks to be more cloudy now.
Well, actually, Stan, it's cooling down here a bit, but I mean, it was 30 at midday when we were on the march.
Now it's a bit cool.
America's hostility toward the DPRK makes me glad that Trump is in office, causing trouble for the US world image. Well, indeed, but I think Sleepy Joe Biden was also bad for the image of the US, but arguably Trump is, you perhaps would say, worse. The man is definitely a racist, and what he did, sending the National Guard and Marines to deal with peaceful protests, was just beyond belief. Very terrible. Okay, well, I think we better conclude. It's nearly 6:20. Got a lot to do here. I thank everybody for joining the us tonight on the stream. Please keep supporting KFA UK, and if you actually live in the UK, because I know we got international guests, but if you live here in the UK, please support us at events like pickets. We get more people, we can be more powerful, and hope to see Scottish viewers at the meeting in Scotland on the 5th of July. I don't know if you want to quickly add anything, Alan.
I would like to say thank you very much for everyone who joined for this live stream. and hopefully see you again or more people on the march and more activities and friendship association. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Okay, well, I wish everybody a very good evening. It's evening here, and hope to see you also at the online anti-US meeting on the 25th of June. So goodbye and have a wonderful day. Goodbye.